I don't really feel like I'm that needed to be a habitual offender. They said that I'm violent and that I don't know how to put it. Just I've changed my ways.
We are about to watch the parole hearing of a Utah man who just seems to be unable to stay out of trouble in prison. He has more than four assault by prisoners while locked up, and yet they still give him parole opportunity after parole opportunity, or at least parole hearing opportunity after opportunity. I'll break it all down for you, including their decision at the end.
What do you contribute that change to?
I changed it to like doing good. I want to better myself. I've been bettering myself. My charges are yeah, I feel sorry and I apologize for that, you know what I'm saying?
So I guess maybe I didn't phrase it properly, so I apologize. But so it sounds like you're saying you were one way and now you've changed and you don't want this anymore. So why do you think you were all of a sudden like, nope, things are different now?
I'm just maturing and I'm stabilized now. Before in the past I wasn't stable. I didn't really know my character, who I was. I feel like I was always just being like not me. You know what I'm saying? I got on medications and I've been doing good. And for past like 18 months or actually 15 months I got on medications. I have progressed a lot. I've had like way less episodes. I've had way less write ups, and I've stayed out of a lot of fights and shit. Excuse my language.
It's okay. Okay, it's good. And we might kind of uh, talk about those things again, but I want to make sure I get to Dr. Peck's report because obviously that's that part of this hearing, right? So do you remember meeting with Dr. Peck?
Yes, I do.
What do you think of his report?
I think it's fair.
Okay. And why do you say that?
He mentioned like pretty much like he mentioned a lot of things like it once transitioned back into the community, we need to have a lot of support, whether it's through a caseworker, through halfway house. And he was saying like the inmate might not, as myself, might not agree to the halfway house, but he thinks it's a good idea for me. But I think I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get out of prison. I'm like this shit. See my name is just the same.
Okay. Um, the report did note that you experienced significant mood shifts, but that when you that you generally responded well to the sessions, and that was really good.
Yeah,
So, do you think that's accurate?
yeah, I believe that's true.
Okay. He also provided some diagnoses, and then he provided some recommendations. Do you remember those recommendations, sir?
No, I don't really remember all of the recommendation.
There was quite a few, so that's understandable. Um,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go for it.
And then what was the other question?
Just so I guess what you thought of them. Do you remember any of the recommendations?
I don't.
Okay. So it said to remain compliant with psychotrans, is completion of anger management.
Yes.
It noted placement being an issue, which you kind of already have addressed. It did talk about a mentally ill offender, formerly MIO, maybe MHS. Now the halfway house is MHSS, mental health support services might be advisable. Um, and then vocational rehabilitation program. What are your thoughts about the MHS or formerly the MIO program?
Huh. Um, it's not really like something I want to do, but if I have to, then I'm gonna do it.
Any reason why you don't want to do MHSS? Do you know about it?
No, I don't. See, I shouldn't assume.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I mean, and I'm assuming you hear different things, right? So, uh, what happens, the board could, if the board orders parole, and if you have an MHSS, mental health support services program condition, a woman most likely Amy will come out and assess you for the program. She'll determine if it would be a good fit for you. Then she'll give that recommendation to the board. If she refers you, accepts you to the program, you go to Bonneville Halfway House, and the program's directed towards mental health support services, right? So mental health treatment, mental health medication management, work, if that is applicable, and just saving up money for your own place, if you want those kind of things. How does that sound to you?
Sounds good. I just don't want to be like, I feel like I don't want to be in an institutionalized facility anymore. I want to be like away from all the inmates. And my mom called the Bonneville last time. It was like, I don't want my son going there because there's SOs, and I don't want him being around any of that. But other than that, I think it'd be a good opportunity for me to get programming, show the board that I'm going to work with them.
Okay. So it sounds like you're willing to do it, but maybe that it's not your first choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not saying that they're going to grant parole. I'm not saying that would be even a condition because they decide, right? But it is something that Dr. Peck noted. Okay. What are your current attitude towards substances?
I don't have any substance abuse issues. I'm
Okay.
just on people crimes. My last charge was 2023 on a Class B misdemeanor for getting into a fight with my brother.
And your last parole, you mean?
My last parole,
Yeah.
yes.
I do show in May 2024, I think the institutional progress report noted that you were requesting to go back to Utah State Hospital. Is that right? Of this year
I was requesting to go back.
to Utah State Hospital? The institutional progress report made a note of that. Is that still the case that you're wanting to go there?
No, not that like, how do I say it? I ain't trying to get ordered to go there.
So can you expand on, I don't want to assume, right? So can you expand on what you mean by that for me?
I just don't feel, the reason why I came back from state hospital last time was because it was too much like downtime, and I feel like my brain was just racing. I'm like, I need more space to walk around.
At the Utah State Hospital?
It was like very, very like little spaces to walk around. My mind got cooped up. I was on medications. Like, I went from prison being mentally stable to the state hospital. My mind was being cooped up. And then I was like, boom, and it snapped. And I'm like, I can't have this anymore. I want to go back to prison where I can actually be in rec and be open space and stay on my medication to show that I'm stable, but it just wasn't the right environment for me. I don't really think that the state hospital I want to go back to.
Okay. How would you describe your mental health currently?
Stable. I've been stable on medications for over a year now. About a year, actually, yeah.
And I do show a incident this year for assault. Can you tell me anything about that?
I got some papers about all my write-ups.
Okay. Is it something you've written for the board, or
Yeah, it's for the board of partners.
are you wanting to read that? Did you want me to make a copy of it? What were you hoping to do, sir?
Both.
Okay, go for it. You can read it. Go ahead.
Said for the write-ups to the board of partners parole, I pled not guilty to the 821 because I was not going out of my way to assault the COs. I was just resisting arrest. Whatever happened during the incident, I apologize. And I felt like the COs were attacking me, so I resisted arrest. I will admit that, as well as I had a mental health breakdown during this incident. So I feel like just triggered me.
Who triggered you?
COs.
Okay. All right, sir. So I show if you are released that you'd like to live with your parents, and you can work at anything. It sounds like you are willing to do other things, but is that your first preference?
My mom in Ohio wants to interstate compact me. She says she's paid already.
So you're hoping to go to Ohio with your mother, you said?
Yes, and or I'll go live in if I do parole, if I get the chance to go with my adopted family Courtney and Jason in Echo, Utah.
So it sounds like, once again, I don't know what the board's gonna do, but if you are paroled, there's a fee, there's an application process for the interstate compact, if that's something you end up deciding to do, to make sure you look into that. And I would note, also note the board received a letter of support, and I reviewed that, and the board will have access to it too, okay?
Thank you.
All right, so those are all my questions. From here, I make recommendations. The board ultimately decides. They're made up of 5 members. 3 of them have to come to one decision. That's the decision of the board. You should get that in writing within 2 to 4 weeks. Your family members, your friends, anyone listening to this hearing via video can go to bop.utah.gov. As soon as we have this decision, we post on our website. It'll take some time, but it's faster on the website than in the mail. You have some closing comments, sir?
Yeah, I just would like to read a letter.
Go for it.
I said, Board of Pardons and Parole. I feel like I'm in a war zone in prison, always on my toes. I can't get comfortable. This sucks. I know I screwed up and I'm bettering myself as well with my apologies. This isn't a good place to be getting mental health treatment. I would like to do outpatient therapy part of my parole, or if I have to do a halfway house if granted. Also, my family and friends say I'm less uptight and more relaxed at home in the community. Prison is not a good environment for me. I have a lot of support in the community as well with jobs I'm looking at working for. I plan on getting transportation vehicle and or an apartment. I'm planning to get enrolled in my Native American tribe so I can get benefits to keep me on my feet in the community. I've done 18 months on my first PV. I've been down 5 years on my 0 to 10, 5+ years on my 0 to 10. I've gotten 5 write-ups since my last rehearing in January of this year, but I'm taking responsibility for the ones I believe to be true. I'm currently doing education so I can get a GED diploma with a possible 4-month time cut unless I parole. Then while I'm parole, I will do online education classes. Also, my last write-up was on May 12th at a mental health crisis and breakdown because I feel the COs in prison are trying to mentally break me every day. I'm doing my best trying and ignoring the drama of fighting spiritually to keep my mind right and stable. I've done more good time than bad time and would like the board to acknowledge that I'm stable on medications. I've expired on 5 or 6 of my felonies since I've been down. I am participating in therapy. I have not laid a hand in a fight since my PV, the beginning of 2023. I asked the board to respectfully give me another chance at parole.
Sir, I appreciate you preparing a letter, right? Shows that you're thinking about things, you're prepared for this hearing, and I appreciate that insight, okay? Do you have any other comments, closing comments or questions?
I don't.
Okay, well, I appreciate you attending this hearing. We'll go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much.
I went from prison being mentally stable to the state hospital. My mind was being cooped up. And then I was like, boom, and it snapped. And I'm like, I can't have this anymore. I want to go back to prison where I can actually be in rec and be open space and stay on my medication to show that I'm stable, but it just wasn't the right environment for me.